Today we're exploring Wildcat Mountain State Park in Ontario, Wisconsin. Join us on another Wisconsin State Park adventure. Just a little look at the parking area. Lots to see here today. We might even make it to Crosse and do our Crosse exploration video that we've been waiting to do for a long time. So friends, join us as we finally get to this gem of a state park in the driftless area of Wisconsin. Wildcat Mountain State Park. Let's all explore it together. Back at Wildcat Mountain State Park at the Observation Point parking lot. Ash and baby Charlotte have joined me. Winston is also with us today. With that, I say good afternoon, friends and fellow travelers. This park, as I said, located near Ontario, Wisconsin, is a state park that overlooks the Kickapoo Valley. And there is an overlook up here. Of course, it's now November in Wisconsin, so all the leaves have left us. You can already kind of start to see what the view is going to be around us here. Temperatures are good today, upper 50s. That's good for us in November. But after today, it's going to start to get cool again. So definitely going to feel more wintry, and it already has a couple times. Ash with the baby, trying to figure out the carrier. Something's not right with it. This thing's kicking up dirt all over me. And friends, we once again bring you to another Wisconsin state park. This is one notably known for its fall foliage and views of the surrounding area. Starting to take our first look. They have another one of the selfie stands, so we might use that here shortly. Especially for our thumbnail that you may or may not see. We picked a good day. I mean, it's windy, there's a good breeze, but otherwise, you know, very, very mild for November. Let's go down here to the wall and take a look. Some initial views of the valley here at Wildcat Mountain State Park. The Kickapoo Valley and the Kickapoo River below. The nearby town of Ontario has lots of options for kayak, boat, float rentals, depending on whatever your fancy is, as that river, narrow river down there, is well known for all of the above kayaking, canoeing, and all of those sorts of water activities in warmer weather. Ash said it's a beautiful view. What do you think so far, dear? Baby Char in her hat, smiling at her mom. She'll get used to adventuring. Always off somewhere. Let's go over here to the main viewpoint. Here at Observation Point. I have to turn this into like a driftless area exploration series because we spend so much time down here. Windy to the point where it kind of starts to offset the mild temperatures. There's a really pretty park road that you have to drive up along the mountainside. This state park, Wildcat Mountain, was founded in 1948, and it is one of Wisconsin's oldest state parks I was reading about. Of course, that observation point there had actually an accessible way to get up to the point. So that's kind of nice. 2 bathrooms I've seen already, so that's also convenient. A little playground over there for the kids. If you take out how windy it is, it really would not be chilly today. I mean, almost 60 for November for us. That's pretty good. Another spot to go over and observe the valley. Again, as you can see, this park, why you can see, it would be really great for fall foliage, but in some parts of the country you're getting your fall foliage now. But in Wisconsin, we're past peak and it's all began to fall from the trees. What you think, dear? Other than the wind.
It's actually nice.
If you take the wind out, it would be a nice day. The state park has 21 miles of hiking trails, so that's pretty cool. That's always a plus for people that are in the same boat as us. Also equestrian trail options. I don't imagine we'll see much of that out today as the climate starts to shift more into this winter focus. Looks like there's a trail over there. The trails that I always hear most about in this park are the old shelters trail. So that goes between the shelter and features a lot of different overlooks to the valley below and along the ridge here in the mountain area. Lots of leaves crunching. I mean, it's a real fall day when you mix in the wind. They have a couple of illustrative signs that kind of talk about a few things. There's also some really cool rock formations if you go exploring more deeply in depth into this park. They have some rock formations that are really worth a peek. Another overlook. Great spot for picnicking though. We had to stop and take our selfie, of course, with this selfie sign that Wisconsin generously provides at many of its state parks and great areas. Devil's Lake has one. You've seen us film there. Willow River has one. You've seen us film there. We're getting to a good chunk of these Wisconsin state parks, along with Minnesota. Another beautiful overlook. And again, friends of Wisconsin, so Wisconsin really has quite the diversity when it comes to its natural landscapes. Lots of farmland surrounding this park. Amish population also. I mean, the road said for the next 15 miles. We're about an hour, I guess it would be east of La Crosse here in the driftless area, so starting to get towards the Minnesota and Wisconsin border there. The Old Settlers Trail is the one I was looking forward to. 2.5 mile loop, allow an hour and a half to 2 hours to hike it. There's a more illustrated sign of the trails. Now what I've seen is this one, along with the Ice Cave Trail and Mount Pisgah, and the Hemlock Trail. Mount Pisgah and the Hemlock Trail are together. Those are the three. The Old Settlers here, the Hemlock Mount Pisgah Trail, and the Ice Cave are the three to do here at Wildcat Mountain State Park. Thankfully it's not icy yet. The wind is really getting to Charlotte, that's the only thing today, so I hear her fussing in the background. Still a little bit of fungi hanging out from fall. Sprawling views over to the left. There's a tree down across what looks to be a portion of the trail. This again was one of the state parks that was on my list to get to. And what we're gonna do, according to this trail, is go straight down. You can kind of see the park road down there through the tree line. Heading down, it is a little slick because of all the leaves, and of course Winston wanting to pull doesn't help it. So that's great. The leaves kind of covering the trail. Charlotte's kind of grumpy. I mean, coupled with the wind and the fact that she got some shots yesterday for her 2 months. It kind of makes sense. And of course I didn't wear my hiking shoes. First tumble of the day. No joke with the leaves. There's that road that you drive in along. Definitely slick with all the leaves. Now that we made it through a really tough section, just because the trail is like this really movable dirt slash sand texture almost, topped off by leaves. It's a little slippery. That's a cool view right there with the road, that winding road that we had to drive. Of course, for most of you, you would probably consider this to just be a hill that we drove on. But when you live in Wisconsin, this is a mountain. So, bigger than a hill. But the trail quality, really interesting with all the leaves. It's definitely at least moderate. And All Trails does rate this trail moderate. But it's tough with the leaves. And off that way. Some people behind us. Cool views wherever you look. So you can kind of see how far we came down. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so here in Wisconsin, sun sets about 4:30, 4:40. So sun's starting to inch closer towards the horizon. This is a loop trail, of course. I think we just hit the loop part. I think it'll be a lot easier to go back up that section than it was to go down with that incline, and with the slippery sections it was not easy. And, you know, with Winston trying to pull and with Ash having the baby attached, it made for an interesting little excursion. Cool views though, walking down in the hill section. Hill, mountain, ridge, whatever you want to call it. So friends, we do have some exciting news. We have announced that our wedding is going to be in Colorado, and that is going to be October 9th of 2026. Ash's excited about that also. We found a great venue in Colorado. We both fell in love with it. Fell in love with the town. We're going to get married in Lake City. It's called the Tack Shed at Bridal Bay. Great people. We'll let you know more about that as it gets closer. But we're going to vlog that experience for you so you can see the wedding venue, the trip out there, because that's going to be a video on its own almost, to go from our home in Wisconsin out to the mountains of western Colorado, the San Juan Range. And the town itself is almost 9,000 feet, so it's going to be pretty historical mountain towns, you know, history along with the beauty of the mountains. It's going to be a great week in Colorado, and I'm really happy with the location we picked. Ash said she was really happy with it. I think it's going to be a great experience, and it takes a lot of the stress away of a traditional home wedding, in my opinion. Looking back along the ridge, cool trail. This is not Colorado, unfortunately, but still pretty. An example of the rock formations here at Wildcat Mountain. That's pretty cool. I mean, to see the side of the cliff like that. The baby fell asleep, so hopefully Ash gets a little bit more peace now with that, now that we're out here. Now that we're out here. And she can pay more attention to the video and you guys and the environment we're in here in the driftless area of Wisconsin. I mean, we're 1 hour from La Crosse, but you know, I was looking up La Crosse, and I really do think that both you guys and us would benefit on our first visit going down there from an entire day. There are some really cool spots down there I'd like to see. Grandad Bluff, for example, which was voted the most beautiful overlook in Wisconsin. There is a beautiful chapel there to view with architecture. I mean, there's a couple museums. There's a lot to do in La Crosse. There's a Peace Garden, the world's largest six-pack, which, you know, it's one of those oddities. It's just there. One of those things when you travel is you see a lot of those world's largest, you know, this and that. But a lot of them are silly. Some of them are cool. But it's one of those little oddities that I didn't even know about until I researched La Crosse a little bit when I was planning to come back down here. So La Crosse is going to be its own video, which was probably the plan anyway, but rather than trying to jam La Crosse and the state park into the same day, I think it better benefits us both to make La Crosse its own day. So that's the tentative plan right now. Again, I keep pushing it off, but Fort Snelling's going to come up eventually. That's one state park real close to home I've still not done. So the historic fort and Fort Snelling State Park. Beautiful afternoon in Wisconsin. Thank you all for joining us. Cool bridge to walk over. Tiny little amounts of. Come on, Win. Up on the bridge. Well, if the bridge breaks, it's not that far down. We'd probably make it. Back up to the hilltop. I mean, it's a cool trail. Fall here, though, would just take the cake as far as hiking seasons in this area. Winston's nose is just going so crazy. He takes off and stops like every 12 seconds. It's been a while since he's been on an adventure, though, so I don't blame him. Because he didn't go to Burnett Island with us because it was rainy. That's the next video you guys will see. Burnett Island, and then this one as we get into our fall/winter series. And we're only 3 months away now, friends, from our first YouTube anniversary of being a travel family over here on YouTube. I posted a couple shorts back at the beginning of 2024, but officially, you know, for as far as YouTube goes, it's really our first real anniversary in February. Some kind of Winston notices something. I don't see anything. Probably a deer or something. When we first got here, there was a deer standing in the middle of the road while Ash was feeding Charlotte. Looks like the remains of a creek that would flow through, though. Cool area. Grazing right there on the hilltop, or on the ridge, is a whitetail. Winston noticed it before we did. Probably don't even see it. Kind of hidden by the trees now. What a second wildlife spotting of the day. Again, that first one was right in the middle of the road. When we first got here. Starting to go back up a little bit. Always interesting the way that the trees fall and they just sit on top of the land. Just natural. Heard a few gunshots on this walk. So whether it's a range or there's some hunting going on, that was noticeable. There's Winnie's photo op. He's getting tired. The thing is when he goes out regularly, it's not so bad. He does longer distances, but
he's getting up and moving.
And there's times when we go a few weeks without going somewhere if it's too cold or if our work schedules don't allow for it. So then he winds up stuck in the house.
And he gets lazy.
Pretty cool hillsides again. Again, the fall foliage here 2 or 3 weeks ago probably was just mesmerizing. Still leaves falling. Some pine hanging out. Still some leaves that are yet to fall, but it's coming. Now I'm curious where this loops around to, because I would have thought we probably would have walked through the valley a little longer with it being 2.5 miles, but we're on our way back up. Some of the rock formations you see here, right alongside the trail. You might hear Shar in the background, active sleeping. He's making some noises. But friends, thank you so much for joining us on this adventure today. Starting to get more of a view of the valley again. Ash and I appreciate all the support on this road to 1,000 subscribers. We're getting close, so we appreciate all the views and liking and commenting, sharing our videos. To all of our subscribers and all of our viewers, we appreciate you. If you like the content and you aren't subscribed, be sure to hit that button, as we're getting close to that big milestone. Looking forward to sharing all of our adventures with you. It's been 9 months. It's already been quite the journey. It's taken us to countless states. Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota. You've seen West Virginia on this channel. You've seen Colorado. You've seen Arkansas, you've seen my home state. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Here's a little bench to sit at and to absorb a view. Can kind of see the valley. I've got all trails going now, just to kind of make sure we're on the way in the right direction. Well, we've been going for a while, so I assume we're starting to get close. There's some kind of a small town over there off in the distance you can kind of see a few buildings of. The town of Ontario, only 500 people, so not a lot there. And Wilton, also close. Again, quite the Amish population, which is similar to where we are from, near the Twin Cities. Wind's starting to pick up again as we get back to a higher elevation. But it really turned out to be quite a day, and without the wind at the lower elevation, it's really beautiful out as we start to hit some pine now here at this particular area of the trail. I always like to look up and look at the tops of all the pine trees. It's a cool view with the needles at the top. Coming to a sign now, amphitheater and the Taylor Hollow Overlook. So another overlook coming up. I want to see what the map says also. So the Taylor Hollow Overlook is on the way to where we are trying to go. Pause if you're looking for more information. People over that way towards the Overlook or the amphitheater. At another overlook, this might be the Taylor Hollow Overlook. Not a whole lot to see here, but still. Sun starting to approach the horizon. The trail bends off to the right and it's rather steep going down. Cool little house over there in the prairie, or the valley of between the different hills. Shar starting to wake up as the wind's a little bit more present up here. I'll put the camera away for a second. It's going to be a more difficult section of the trail. You know, I just said I needed to stop recording for this section of the trail down, but that rock formation was worth a note. A pretty cool find, but look at the trail right here. It's that and then a drop. So a pretty serious section of this trail here. They call it moderate, but with the leaves invoking the trail, I would say a little bit more difficult than that potentially. And Winston loving to pull. So if you're going to do this trail, this is definitely worth the view. However, make sure you're keeping your center of gravity low, especially in the fall. We're going to get right down here next to that rock formation. Now go ahead, Win. Come on. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool rock formation. Go ahead. And now, the state park is known for some rock formations, so very cool sight here on the trail. All right, friends, we conquered that more difficult section of trail. I don't know if you can really tell from here, but it's straight up. And like I said, with this dirt that they have packed on the trail with the leaves, not easy, for sure. Should have brought my hiking shoes today. But, you know how many times I've said that on this channel already? How we've only been doing this 9 months. And I probably say it every other trail we do. Every other big hike we do. But that rock formation was pretty cool. I had to stop. I had to stop to capture that. I mean, that was truly kind of an unsteady part of the trail. And now I could have walked up another sketchy section and then took a picture right next to it, but you know, to each his own. So wasn't doing that. Starting the golden hour to set in. It's getting pretty out here with sun rays starting to peek into the valley. Ultimately, I think we both enjoyed this hike. 2.5 miles, I mean, that's not bad for us, really. Cool trail, though. That ice cave trail is the one where you see some real rock formations. But that's on like the other side of the park boundary. So I don't know if it's going to be dark before we're able to get around and find that. And that's a really short trail, so that might just be a little wander down and back if we do find it. Winston's pulling me, so we just got my leg kind of messed up on this tree. Yeah. Cool little gray over there, though. It kind of looks like fog from this angle. Well, look at the underbrush now. This would be interesting in the summer. It would be pretty close to being overgrown. But late fall here, transitioning towards winter. We still haven't got that first snow yet. I'm really surprised about that. So there's another bridge here we reached. It's got a little stream flowing. Water, very little water, but steady. Since I turned the all trails on, starting to approach that mile marker. We'd been hiking for quite a bit before that, though. On we go. Winston got my leg pretty good on that tree branch, but now down in the valley again. So there's a lot more stuff poking onto the trail. There's been a few thorns here and there. We were talking, in the summer, this would be in tick territory, big time. And then, of course, we would be concerned about that with wind. So, the life of a dog and the life of a traveler is sometimes walking out of your hikes with battle scars. I've accepted that. I've accepted that for years. There was a time in Great Basin National Park in Nevada when I almost fell right off the mountain cliff. I wouldn't be here today, but I am. It's the risk you take when you travel sometimes and you hike. But you get to see views like this. Mountains and scenic drives and all the things. And another beautiful example. And another battle scar. Sometimes nature has its way of getting back at you. And whether that's assisted by your own dog or not. And on we go, getting back towards that upper picnic area. On our way back up, about 1.5 miles on the all trails, so see the sun coming down. So about 1 mile before all trails, we can see the steep incline that we went down to start, as it is a 2.5 mile loop. I should have just all trails the entire hike, but you know me, I have to start in the middle of it for some reason. So this will wind up close to a 3 mile little adventure. Charlotte's agitated, she's ready to eat. Ash is tired. Just would have been better as a solo adventure, perhaps. But that's all right. Nice views of the sun coming down. Probably going to make the valley look pretty cool up here. But my friends, in its essence, this was the number one rated trail at Wildcat Mountain State Park, the Old Settlers Trail. The parking lot right over there. And finally to the top. What an adventure. I'll see where the ice cave trail is quickly. And if it's not too far, I'll check it out real quick. We'll be right back. All right, friends, the ice cave trail. It's a 0.6 mile. So we're gonna go check this spot out. I looked it up in the GPS and we were 1.5 miles from it. So why not? The sun's coming down, it's after 4 o'clock. Last little excursion here at Wildcat Mountain State Park. Why not though? Cool views to start it out of the river next to us, I assume. Let me just look that up as I'm walking here with you. Is that the river? No, Billings Creek, not the river. So, cool views here of Billings Creek and the Ice Cave Trail. Friends, we thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate all of your support. I know I kind of tell you guys all the time, but you know, we're on this road to the big milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and we're starting to get close. So we couldn't be there without all of you. So thankful. And as we continue to grow and share these adventures with you, it's just going to be the beginning for us. So can't wait to see where this large grand-esque adventure takes us. Cool little spot you can picnic at. Another bathroom. There are lots of bathrooms at this state park. That's very much appreciated, especially with young kids who are working on the potty training. The boys aren't with us today, but you know, for all intents and purposes, a great idea to have those readily available, and we've seen at least 3 today. A quick little hike, and then I'll bid you farewell for today. A little solo adventure. Ash opted to stay in the car, and I don't blame her. She wanted to not get the baby back out. Look up the hillside. What about that old settlers trail? There was just something special about it. You know, as we're back into the wilderness again on another hike, and it was just cool. It's a good trail. I really enjoyed that rock formation. I mean, it was slick with the leaves. No lie there. But still worth it. And we're glad that you're here to go along with us. Very cool nature around us here. Coming up to what I believe is the ice cave. Hear water flowing in here. Yeah. Definitely the ice cave. Cool little spot. Water dripping down. What a spot, friends. You can just walk along the trail, along the cave. Is it a cave or is it an outcrop? I'll let you decide on that. You can see why it's such a special and popular state park. Just the serenity of the water flowing. A little bench there you can sit and observe. Really cool. One last look at the ice cave. Starting to head back. It's a cool little spot to sit. I don't know if the trail goes that way or not. Not gonna find out today as it's already starting to get dark. But what a cool little discovery. You can just kind of walk all the way down and around. Cool area. That, my friends, very simply and very quickly, the Ice Cave Trail. So that was 2 of the top 3 trails here at Wildcat Mountain State Park. We really enjoyed this today. You know, it really turned into a great day. It was really windy at the beginning. But truly, for November, we couldn't have asked for a better day. I mean, you take the wind out of the equation and it's like early October. It's a early fall day. But then you add all that wind in, you add Winston pulling you, it makes it a challenge. Otherwise, what a great experience. I've been waiting to come to this park for a while. Now, would I like to see this state park in the fall? Well, it is fall, but with the fall foliage, yes, early October to mid-October would be great here. Now, we just missed that. We made it here in November. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. It didn't happen. Had we come 2 weeks ago, we might have caught the end of the foliage season. Probably would have started to look like this again, yes, but we would have probably caught a little bit of it here and there. Looking back around, there's some cool landscape here. You know, you can see the creeks that carved out up that direction, back that way towards the ice cave. I mean, it's a cool area. There wasn't much ultimately in this state park that I could complain about. You know, I'm leaving here with a battle wound. Okay, whatever. Hiking the trails, you're gonna get those. That doesn't bother me. But ultimately, what a great day. We're glad you got to share it with us. And we can't wait for you to join us on our future adventures. This is, you know, just the beginning for us. I'm gonna walk back out here towards Billings Creek and we'll say goodbye for now. But it's just for now. I really can't wait to get over to La Crosse and share some of those cool spots in La Crosse, because there's a really cool overlook there called Grandad Bluff. There's a really cool shopping area. There is a spot where you can go to a peace garden. I mean, there are lots of things for everybody to do there. There's an auto museum, the Doll Auto Museum there also. So there is a lot to do in La Crosse, which is a town of only, or city of only 52,000 people roughly. But ultimately, if you look, you can find the adventure and you can find what suits you. So we're getting back towards Billings Creek. And friends, I hope you have a great rest of your week. It's been a pleasure to share this adventure with you. Thank you. This has left me at peace. What a great state park. Wisconsin very often has amazed both Ash and I. So for the kiddos, for Ash, for Winnie, it's Brandon. And this isn't bye forever. We'll see you on the next one. And we can't wait to share our next adventure. Have a great rest of your week, friends.